It was another absolutely insane week in the world of AI. It's so hard to keep up with it all. Don't worry, we've got you. Here are the top 10 stories in AI this week. Cortical labs have followed up their earlier dish brain work, where cultured neurons learnt to play Pong, with something considerably harder: Doom. The human brain cells are connected to a game environment through electrodes, receiving feedback when they act correctly or incorrectly. A reward loop that mirrors how biological learning works. Over time, the neurons adapt. They're not playing it well, but they are playing it. Cortical labs are positioning this as a path toward more efficient AI. Biological systems consume far less energy than silicon. The harder question, which nobody is quite ready to answer, is where the ethical lines sit as the substrate gets more complex. For now, a Petri dish has completed a level of Doom. That's weird enough. Codex is OpenAI's agentic software development environment, a desktop application that lets developers run multiple coding agents in parallel, each working on separate tasks simultaneously. Until now, it wasn't available natively on Windows, but from today, it's available in the Microsoft Store. OpenAI and Microsoft have been intertwined for a while, but the relationship is nowhere near what it used to be. Will OpenAI and Microsoft become a dream partnership once again? They'll have to go some to gain lost ground on Claude and become the top choice for developers. Cursor, the AI code editor, has introduced automations, a framework for running always-on coding agents without a human to prompt them. Agents fire on events like a PR merge, a PagerDuty alert, a linear issue, then handle tasks like code review, security audits, bug triage, or Slack updates automatically. This shifts Cursor far beyond a typical IDE. Cursor seems to be positioning itself as the infrastructure for a fleet of agents that operate independently. So now in Cursor, one engineer can oversee dozens of agents simultaneously. And very likely, the humans in the loop are soon going to be the real bottleneck. BotHouse is a concept from OpenArt Studios, the team behind OpenArt's AI image generation tools. They've created 6 AI influencer personas who compete in a structured show format: challenges, drama, identity crises, with episode 1 dropping next week. The format is familiar: Big Brother meets social media competition, but the contestants are entirely AI generated. The show is designed to be watched by humans who are invited to root for characters that don't exist. This could be the start of a massive new trend, where the audience embraces the pinnacle of AI slop, or it dies out instantly. Let's see. The G1 is Unitree's mid-range humanoid robot, and Omni Xtreme is the motion framework developed to push its physical limits. The demos show the robot completing movements that would challenge most humans: full backflips, sustained handstands, and fluid combat-style sequences. Dynamic stability at this level, absorbing impact, recovering balance, generating controlled force, has been one of the harder engineering problems in humanoid robotics. But Unitree seem to have completely mastered it at this point. Watching a robot moving with this combination of speed and dexterity is mind-blowing, and frankly, kind of terrifying. Google has unveiled its new Gemini 3.1 flashlight version, the latest compact model built for intelligence at scale. It introduces adjustable thinking levels, a setting that lets developers dial in how much reasoning the model applies, adapting for different tasks without running everything at full power. The thinking levels feature is the interesting part. Most model releases give you a single setting. This one lets you trade reasoning depth against latency and cost. The model release pattern is starting to look familiar. Start with a large, state-of-the-art model, then optimize it into a smaller version that outperforms the previous generation's flagship. This cycle keeps getting shorter. Netflix has acquired InterPositive, the AI filmmaking startup co-founded by actor and director Ben Affleck in 2022. InterPositive builds tools for post-production, relighting shots, color grading, and adding visual effects. They create a custom AI model from production footage so that the quality and accuracy is as high as possible. Netflix has acquired the 16-person company, with Affleck joining as senior advisor. Affleck says the goal is to preserve what makes storytelling human, which is pretty ironic coming from someone who just sold his AI company to a streaming giant. OpenClaw, the AI coding assistant, has surpassed React as one of the most starred repositories on GitHub. To mark the milestone, the team noted they shipped 90+ changes today. React didn't. GitHub stars aren't revenue or users, they're a proxy for enthusiasm, but developer enthusiasm has a way of turning into products, companies, and eventually, infrastructure. The fact that an AI assistant has outstarred the most widely used UI library in history says something about where developer attention is moving right now. Whether OpenClaw lives up to that momentum is a separate question. For now, the crustaceans have the internet's attention. OpenAI have just unveiled GPT-5.4. The model now handles complex, agentic coding tasks with what they're calling best-in-class performance. It's designed to reason more efficiently across lengthy, tool-heavy workflows. The context window alone, 1 million tokens, transforms what's possible in single sessions. And it's also got computer use baked in. It's already posted a bunch of impressive numbers across the various benchmarks. But it takes more than that to impress the crowds these days. We'll see soon enough whether this lives up to the hype, or if Anthropic drop a lunchtime release that blows it out the water. A year ago, Chat GPT held 90% of the US business market. That number is now closer to 30%. The shift has happened almost entirely in Claude's favour, driven primarily by Claude Team, Max, and Enterprise subscriptions. The data comes from actual invoice and payment records, not surveys or estimates. RAMP sees what companies are actually spending money on. Anthropic's bet on coding and agentic tools appears to have paid off commercially. It turns out that enterprise customers care more about capability than brand loyalty. The remaining question is whether this trend holds, or whether OpenAI or anyone else can close